Hey my friends, it's Daniel and Shivani, and we're at the Library of Congress in Washington, D.C. And a lot of people ask us, Daniel, how do you have a happy marriage? Don't they ask us that question?
Yes, so many people on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter. We're getting these questions all over the place.
And the truth is that you have to understand that a couple that prays together
Stays together.
And you have to understand also that the number one thing you have to do to stay committed is communicate. You have to communicate about your faith, about your finances, about your family. Because the fact is that you can't really read the other person's mind. You don't always know exactly what your spouse is thinking, right?
Of course. And us ladies, I know we keep so much in our hearts and we don't reveal everything to our men, but this has to stop. They cannot just keep reading our minds. You have to let them know that's the only way they'll find out what we really think and what we really feel.
And you have to explicitly state exactly what it is that you're thinking. So Shivani likes to write me long letters. She likes to send me long text messages, and I like to write her poems, and I write her emails as well. And that's the way we communicate when it comes to family, when it comes to our faith, when it comes to our finances. Because if you're not talking about these elements, there's no way they'll ever be covered. And a lot of times people end up divorcing, which is a major shame, because they never communicate these important elements of their life. Guys, you cannot go further in your marriage if you don't talk about money. If you don't talk about money and what it means to you and how it's going to help you in the future as you plan for retirement and you plan to live your lifestyle, then there's going to be a whole bunch of arguments. And we'll be the first to tell you that arguments will always happen, right?
Yes, of course. And Dana always has this one quote that he says, what you're ignoring the most is exactly what you need to pay attention to the most.
And you guys got to remember that the pain or pleasure principle basically says what we feel is painful, we try to avoid for something that's more pleasurable. So if we see something out there that seems to be painful, like for instance, you want to make an investment, you want to buy a program, let's say you want to get into the school of wealth, but you haven't talked to your spouse about it and you end up making that purchase, most likely that's not going to help you. But if you talk to your spouse and you talk about how important it is for you to get mentorship with Daniel Aldie, then it's going to change your life. When it comes to family, you also have to communicate.
Yes, you definitely do. You have to communicate about your family even before you meet each other's families. You have to describe, this is how my aunt is, this is how my mom is. Tell them all the details you can before they go into a situation that they may not be aware of if you don't let them know.
Yeah, and you also have to be honest too. If you know that there's an aunt or uncle or a certain family member that is prone to attack, you gotta watch out. You have to know who's really on your side and who's against you, right? And you can't just walk into a situation or have your spouse walk into that situation without preparing them. And finally, when it comes to faith, you have to make sure you're on the same book, in the same page, on the same word. Because if you have two different religions or two separate beliefs, you'll never be successful because you're gonna be basing your life on two separate foundations. So make sure that you're aligned on the same page. We prefer to read the Bible, like we said. A couple that prays together stays together, and we firmly believe that, and we pray every day, we read the book every day, and we study everything we need to know to become more aligned with God's will.
Faith is also important whenever you're about to make a major step in your life. Whether you're looking to take a major risk, if one person has faith and the other person doesn't, how will both of you guys move together?
Exactly. You need to have a lot of faith in everything you do, and you have to communicate those three things that we talked about today. Communicate your faith, communicate your finances, communicate your family, and that's how you have a perfect marriage, right?
Exactly.
Keep going, guys. Look, we're here with you. We're here to support you. If you want more relationship advice, please comment in the section below and let us know if you enjoyed this video. And also subscribe to our channel, hit that notification button, and please make sure to share this with someone you know that needs it, especially your spouse.
And if you haven't followed us on Instagram, make sure you do so right now.
Alright guys, we really enjoyed this. We look forward to seeing you on the next video. See you later.